Thank you for tuning in. This video is on setting the DK-1 gopher trap. The DK-1 gopher trap is a very popular and very effective gopher trap. It's also used for moles. It's been around for a long time. It's very well proven. However, it's a little bit tricky to set. When you obtain the DK-1 gopher trap from your provider, and we certainly hope you'd consider the Roadman for the provider, it comes with instructions that shows how to set the trap and also how to place the trap in the gopher or mole tunnel. However, it is a little bit tricky, and as I always say, a picture's worth 1,000 words. When you get your trap, generally the spring, which has a latch on it, is latched onto the handle. So that first step is to unlatch it, but take a look at that when you do it, because when you set the trap, you're going to have to relatch that spring back on there. Okay, then you'll notice that there's both a solid jaw right here, it's connected through the spring to the handle, or a set jaw, and a movable jaw, which you can move either by the jaw, or also it can be moved from the spring latch. Also, there is a flat pan, and at the bottom of the flat pan there's a hole there, and when we go in the setting process, we're going to have to stick the tail of this wire in that hole. This is the trigger wire. It's a very important part, and one thing I want to point out to this is on this trigger wire there's a little hook on that wire, and that hook or latch needs to go on the top of the fixed jaw, and the tail of the wire go on the bottom of it. And it's a little tricky to slip in there, but it's a very fundamental part of setting the trap. So here we go. We're going to slide that hook on top and the wire on the bottom, and then we push the tail of the wire into the spring and to the top of the spring. Okay, there we go. Let's have a closer look at that. It goes about a halfway over that wire, and we push the tail of it on the spring, and then we take the flat pan and we slide that over that wire. And I like to have the wire sticking through there a 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch, and this is for safety reasons, so that the trap does not go off when you're setting it, because if it does, you'll know it. Now the trap is in the set position. This can be rotated, but when it's set, you want it to be between the jaws. However, even though it's in the set position, there's no tension on the spring, and that's the next thing we're going to do. We're going to take our pointing finger and our thumb, and then we turn the handle clockwise and rehook that latch onto the handle like it was when you got it. Okay, thumb, forefinger, rotate one time clockwise, hook the latch. Now the trap is totally set. The pan is not in a very sensitive position because the wire is stuck through there a 1/2 inch, but from this point on we do not want to put our fingers between these two jaws. We're going to want to set the pan so it's a little more sensitive. It really won't go off when it's a 1/2 inch from the end, so we need to slide the pan so that the spring is just barely sticking, or the wire is barely sticking through that hole, a 1/16 of an inch or less, and it rubs on the bottom of that spring, so it kind of goes one click at a time. And notice while I'm doing this that my hand or fingers is not between the jaws. Okay, one click at a time. One more click, I think. There we go. And then we like to center that. Now our trap is 100% ready to be placed in the tunnel to catch a gopher or mole. One trick I like to do is I like to rotate my trap upside down, and the reason for this is if it's set this way, your gopher mole is going to have to cross over the jaws in the spring to get to the pan. Whereas when it's upside down, there's nothing for them to walk over. Okay, now your trap set in the den, and when your gopher or mole comes and pushes onto the pan, you have eliminated your gopher problem. Finally, there's a hole at the end of the handle. It's a good idea to wire or stake the trap down so that a coyote or a dog does not walk off your trap. This has been Rodent Man. Thank you for listening, and good luck trapping.